Here in Hong Kong, we are also facing challenges. Hong Kong is in turbulent waters after the government introduced a bill on cross-border transfer of fugitives last year, which whipped up the months of protests, which are still unresolved at this time. The scale and complexities of the protests, or many now people say is a social political movement, have provided the perfect ground for the generation and spread of misinformation, disinformation, and rumors. According to an AFP fact-check team, they have debunked more than 100 pieces of misinformation and misleading reports between June and August 2019. Most of them originated from Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And during the period between June and November, the number of fact-check reports of misinformation outnumber those during the presidential election period in the Philippines. Not surprisingly, both the protesters and supporters for the Hong Kong police are the sources of misinformation with an aim of discrediting the other side. The support police camp has sought to demonize the movement. One of the widely shared posts was the so-called sex angel story, with pictures of sexy young girls being recruited to offer free sex to warriors who braved their lives to attack police officers. The picture was later found on a porn website. On the left-hand side of the picture was said to be taken from the cell phone of one of the protesters who were arrested. On the right-hand side, it's the picture from the adult-only website. Police brutality is one of major sources of friction during the movement. The fact that the police has also become the source of misinformation and misleading information had added oil to the fire. On the eve of the Chinese National Day on October the 1st, 2019, a police spokesman gave a press conference, quoting from social media to say protesters had put up ads to hire warriors to attack police officers. The spokesman described it as near terrorist attacks at the press conference. Reporters later discovered that the contact email address of the ad was written in Pinyin, the mainland Chinese pronunciation. A reporter joined the group and found no action had been taken, nor there was a host. Police also showed a map of the shopping malls in the city, which were said to be the target of arson attack by protesters. But it was again found that the locations of the shopping malls were all wrong. I conclude with a few observations. First, a kind of vicious cycle in Hong Kong. Our society becomes sharply divided, and then the polarization of public opinion further fuels false information, and false information, in turn, further divides the society. Our chief executive has appealed for calm and vigilance against false information, but that doesn't help because people just don't trust the government, whatever they want to say. The public is in the dilemma. It's true, I think more people are aware of the prevalence of, say, false information on social media. And then many people share the view that they should do their part by not sharing, say, false information. But those kind of media literacy and change of habit will take time to change. And also importantly, there's still a big gap of professional, credible, and independent fact-checking bodies in Hong Kong. We have seen more efforts by media outlets and independent bodies to try to do more, as you can see from the list on the slide. But more need to be done before the government moves to legislate on fake news. There are no signs of it for the time being on the legislative agenda, but voices or noises calling for one began to grow louder in the past year.